Hamas has reportedly recruited approximately 4,000 new fighters in recent months, according to Israeli intelligence sources cited by Walla. This significant influx of recruits signals Hamas's efforts to rebuild its military strength following substantial losses sustained during recent Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) operations. The new recruits are said to be undergoing intensive training under the guidance of senior Hamas commanders, some of whom managed to evade capture or elimination in previous Israeli offensives. This development raises alarms among Israeli military officials, who believe that Hamas is actively regrouping in preparation for future confrontations, focusing on both the southern and northern regions of Gaza. The recruitment surge appears to be a calculated move by Hamas to fill the ranks left depleted by sustained Israeli military campaigns. In recent months, the IDF has targeted key Hamas operatives, destroyed weapon stockpiles, and struck critical infrastructure in a bid to weaken the group's operational capabilities. Despite these efforts, Hamas has demonstrated its resilience, leveraging local grievances, socioeconomic hardships, and its ideological appeal to attract new fighters. Many of these recruits are reportedly drawn from Gaza's youth population, who see joining Hamas as a means of resistance against perceived occupation and marginalization. Hamas has implemented a robust training regimen for its new fighters, focusing on guerrilla warfare tactics, urban combat, and the operation of advanced weaponry. Israeli intelligence reports suggest that training camps have been established in secret locations across Gaza, often concealed within civilian areas to evade detection by the IDF. Recruits are being trained not only in conventional combat techniques but also in the use of improvised explosive devices, IEDs, tunnel warfare, and drone operations, reflecting Hamas's commitment to evolving its military strategies. The involvement of senior Hamas commanders in this training effort underscores the group's intent to rebuild its leadership and operational structure. These commanders, many of whom evaded Israeli offensives, bring a wealth of battlefield experience and tactical knowledge. Their role is critical in mentoring new recruits and ensuring the continuation of Hamas's long-standing strategies against Israel. Israeli intelligence agencies have identified several key figures believed to be orchestrating the regrouping efforts, with some operating from undisclosed locations within Gaza and others possibly receiving support from external backers. One of the most concerning aspects of this development, according to Israeli military officials, is the geographical focus of Hamas's rebuilding efforts. By bolstering its presence in both the southern and northern regions of Gaza, Hamas is aiming to maintain operational flexibility and create multiple fronts from which it can launch future attacks. This strategy not only complicates Israel's defense posture but also increases the potential for widespread conflict in the region. The ability to operate effectively in multiple areas allows Hamas to sustain prolonged engagements and disrupt IDF operations, should hostilities escalate. Israeli commanders have warned that Hamas's preparations are indicative of its intent to wage future battles against Israel. While the IDF continues to conduct airstrikes and surveillance missions to disrupt these efforts, the recruitment of thousands of new fighters presents a significant challenge. Senior Israeli military officials have emphasized the importance of proactive measures, including targeted intelligence operations, to neutralize the threat posed by Hamas's expanding ranks. The Israeli government has also intensified its diplomatic outreach to allies, urging greater international scrutiny of Hamas's activities and the external support networks enabling its resurgence. External actors, particularly Iran, are believed to play a significant role in Hamas's efforts to rebuild its military capacity. Iran has long been a key supporter of Hamas, providing financial aid, weaponry, and tactical expertise. According to Israeli intelligence, Tehran has increased its support in response to the group's recent setbacks, offering resources to aid in recruitment, training, and weapons procurement. Iranian support underscores the broader regional dimensions of the conflict, as Hamas's activities align with Tehran's broader strategy to challenge Israeli influence and bolster its own proxies across the Middle East. The shadow of external influence extends beyond Iran, with reports suggesting that Hamas has established covert channels to smuggle weapons and funds into Gaza despite the ongoing blockade. These smuggling networks, which often operate through Egypt's Sinai Peninsula and other regional nodes, are vital for sustaining Hamas's military capabilities. The new recruits are being equipped with advanced weaponry, including shoulder-fired missiles, mortars, and drones, much of which is believed to be sourced through these illicit networks. Israeli officials have expressed concerns about the proliferation of such weaponry, warning that it could significantly enhance Hamas's ability to strike deep into Israeli territory. The recruitment drive and subsequent training efforts are taking place against a backdrop of dire humanitarian conditions in Gaza. Decades of blockades, periodic military conflicts, and economic hardship have created a volatile environment where disillusioned youth are particularly susceptible to Hamas's recruitment campaigns. For many, joining the group offers not only a sense of purpose but also financial incentives and social status. This cycle of poverty, despair, and militarization continues to fuel the broader conflict, creating conditions that perpetuate violence and instability. From a strategic perspective, Hamas's recruitment surge is a clear signal of its intent to remain a central actor in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Despite the substantial losses it has incurred in recent years, the organization's ability to attract new fighters and rebuild its capabilities demonstrates its resilience and adaptability. Hamas's leadership has framed the recruitment effort as part of a broader strategy of resistance, seeking to rally both domestic and regional support for its cause. By presenting itself as the primary defender of Palestinian rights and sovereignty, Hamas continues to position itself as a powerful force within Palestinian society. The international community has taken note of these developments, though responses remain divided. While Western nations generally condemn Hamas's activities as a threat to regional stability, some governments and organizations emphasize the need to address the underlying causes of the conflict, including the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the broader Israeli-Palestinian stalemate. Without significant progress on these fronts, the recruitment and militarization of Gaza's youth are likely to continue, perpetuating the cycle of violence. For Israel, the stakes are high. The prospect of a reinvigorated Hamas with thousands of newly trained fighters poses a direct threat to its security and undermines its efforts to achieve long-term stability in the region. Israeli leaders have reiterated their commitment to neutralizing the threat posed by Hamas, emphasizing the need for both military and diplomatic measures. However, the complexity of the situation requires a multifaceted approach, balancing immediate security concerns with efforts to address the root causes of the conflict. Hamas's ongoing preparations highlight the evolving nature of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, where traditional battle lines are increasingly blurred by asymmetric warfare and proxy engagements. As both sides continue to adapt to changing circumstances, the risk of escalation remains ever present. The recruitment of thousands of new fighters and the training of a fresh generation of militants signify a troubling new phase in this protracted conflict, one that could have far-reaching implications for Gaza, Israel, and the broader region.